Social studies. A renewable resource. What is a renewable resource? James.
It can be made again naturally.
Yes. The key word is naturally, though. It has to be natural. What is a non-renewable, Owen?
The resource that is a natural resource that no longer forms today.
Right. Who can give me an example of that? M.
Gold,
Gold. Owen.
oil,
Oil. Gabe.
natural gas,
Natural gas. Gabe. Or Christian.
coal,
Coal. Interestingly, a lot of these natural or non-renewable resources happened hundreds of years ago, were created hundreds of years ago, are now buried in the earth and are mined out of the earth, and we use them. So they can't be created again. Once they're gone, they're gone. Yes, Olivia.
Oh, I had one for the
Oh, for the non-renewable? What is that?
materials or minerals.
Oh, minerals. Yes, minerals are also another example. Winsheen.
metal,
No. I don't think metal is.
it can't be, it's basic, it's the gold bar.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. I never really thought of metal that way. But yeah, yeah, you're right. It's not, yes, it is something that we get from, you are correct. I think more of metal of what we create with the metal and not the metal in and of itself. So yes, you are correct. Dealings with other nations, page 84. So we are still dealing with other nations. So let us learn
Yay!
about the Louisiana Territory. Exciting stuff.
Yay!
I'm on page 84. Please turn to 84. Actually, before we do that, let us look on our manuals on page 48. Now, who are the Democratic Republicans and the Federalists? Who are they? What are they? Who are they and what are they? I would like for everyone to answer that because we have been talking about them now for a while. Who are the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans? Grant.
The Federalists, like,
They what? The Federalists what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Right, which were what? Banking and trading. Very good. So who were the Democratic Republicans? Jeremiah.
like Thomas Jefferson's ideas,
Yes, which were about what? What did Thomas Jefferson support?
farming,
Yes. What were they called? There is a word or terminology that I'm looking for that explains what the Federalists were and the Democratic Republicans. There is a word that you had on your tests. A certain party. Toby. A what? Political party. Yes. So they are the political parties of this time, of that time. What are the political parties of our time? There are two that derived from one of these. 2 and 1. Helen.
Democrats and the Republicans.
Very good. So the Political parties are still alive and well.
Yay.
So, we are on page 48 of our manual. So you are going to circle D for Democratic Republicans or F. Thought that farmers had freedom that traders did not. Who supported the farmers? The Democrat Republicans or the Federalists? We just discussed this. Who was pro-farming? Ella? Yes, very good. Favored religion in government. And we talked about that. Who did not favor religion in government? It was very clear on page 78. If you read the second paragraph on page 78, you will be able to discern the answer. So look on the bottom of page 78, starting with Jefferson also believed in what? So if Jefferson believed in freedom from religion, Jefferson was what party? Democrat, Republican, or Federalist? Toby? Yes. So what would the answer be for number 2? Favored, meaning we're for religion in government. You have to think. Emmy? Well, it's Democrat, Republican, or Federalist? Federalist is correct. Federalists were for religion. They figured good morals and integrity would make a good leader. Liked farmers and traders. Be careful with this one. Liked farmers and traders. Jonathan. Yes. Why is that a trick question? Owen.
Because Thomas Jefferson likes farmers. Likes farming.
Right. And was he against trading and banking?
Yes.
Yes. Very much so. All right. Very good. Believed a man should be able to work in government whether he went to church or not. Helen.
Democratic Republican?
Yes. Very good. I find it interesting, this is my opinion, that it was all or nothing. You have to either have this or you have to have that. To me, that is not a well-rounded way to think. That you can't have religion in government is kind of silly. I think religion is important because I have to agree with Adams that and Washington, it makes people make better choices. Right? So it's always good to be open-minded. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. All right, the third president of the United States was whom? Who was our third president of the United States, McKenna?
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, correct. Yes. Quickly. Something from nature that God created for people to use is called a blank resource. Something from nature that God created for people to use is called a blank resource. Now, we just talked about that. If you look on page 81 of your textbook, it's in very bold letters. Gabe. And what? Natural. I thought you said national. Okay. Natural resource is correct. Meaning it cannot be made by man. It can only be made by God. What is something that would be a natural resource? Tyson.
Animals.
Animals.
And minerals.
And minerals. What else is a natural resource? Very good. Grant. Plant. Land? Yes, very much so. Ella. Water. James. Soil. Helen. Well, we grow food, right?
Wasn't he the first one to make it?
True. Well, God created everything.
Yes.
So you are correct. We can't have food without all of the natural resources that God has given us, which is soil and what about what is outside that keeps us warm? Olivia.
I have something else.
Okay, what is yours?
Air.
Air. Owen.
Sun.
Sun. Jeremiah.
Plants.
What's that?
Plants.
Plants. So you got the picture. We can't make natural resources. Only God can. We use natural resources to make things, like with trees, we make houses. With seeds, we grow food. But God created the initial seed for us to grow, right? The food? We can't create a seed, can we?
No.
No. Very good. All right, so a resource that can be made again naturally is called is it a renewable or a non-renewable resource? A resource that can be made again naturally. Tyson. A renewable. Very good. A resource that no longer forms today is called a, James, non-renewable. So number 9, is oil renewable or non-renewable? Very good. What about water? Owen. Renewable. What about coal? Gabe. What about trees? Jeremiah. Very good. You guys are so smart.
Are we though?
You are. All right, let us talk about, before we finish that was kind of review. So now we're going to talk about how they moved west. This is interesting. It's called the Louisiana Territory. The Louisiana Territory is on page 84 of your textbook. So remember, the initial states of our country was right here on coastal land on the Atlantic Ocean. All of this is yet to be discovered. So Louisiana is right here. New Orleans is down here. So we're going to find out how a big chunk of land was actually purchased by the United States of America. It was not ours. So that if you see on the map on page 84, does everybody see the map?
Yes.
You see the area in pink.
Yeah.
That is the Louisiana Territory. That was all land that we bought. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
All right, so let's read about it because it's very interesting. Who wants to read the first paragraph on page 84? Emmy.
The Mississippi,
Okay, nice and loud, honey.
the Mississippi River runs the western border of the United States. When Jefferson became president,
Okay, hold on right there. So, the Mississippi River. Okay, you look on your map. Find the Mississippi River. It's right here. You see it? It's in white. So, that orange section is the land that the United States had colonized, not colonized, but they have made into land that they have used. The Mississippi River was the edge of the United States land that they were living and using. So that means all of this land west of the Mississippi River was not territory of the United States. That's a big chunk of land. So all of the orange, prior to this time that we're talking about now, the Louisiana Territory, was what the United States, this was the United States territory. All of this was not. All right, Emmy, read on.
Beyond the Mississippi River was a large area known as the
New Orleans.
New Orleans Territory. The most important
Oh, known as Louisiana.
in this area was New Orleans. It was located at the end of the Mississippi, near the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, do you see New Orleans?
Yep.
The very tip of the Mississippi. Okay, go ahead.
New Orleans was important ocean
New Orleans was important because
because old trade down the Mississippi to the Atlantic Ocean came to the city.
all right, so that's a really important area. So it was located at the end of the Mississippi River near the Atlantic Ocean. We're talking about New Orleans. New Orleans was important because all trade down the Mississippi River to the Atlantic Ocean came through this city. All right, who wants to read the next paragraph? Christian, you can read it to the next paragraph to the end of this page.
The French and the control of the New Orleans. The French defeat American ships from going to the Atlantic Ocean. Jefferson wanted to buy the New Orleans, then the Americans would not need French permission to move goods through the city.
All right, very good. So who controlled the Louisiana Territory? Or Louisiana, or New Orleans? Who had control of New Orleans? Which was a huge trading area. I mean, huge. Owen. The French. So the French owned New Orleans in the United States, and Thomas Jefferson wanted to own that because it was a huge hub for trade. Not only do you have Mississippi River feeding into it, but you also have the Atlantic Ocean. That is a huge, huge area. Congress gave Jefferson the money to buy New Orleans. Jefferson sent men to France to talk about the purchase. France surprised Jefferson. It wanted to sell not only New Orleans, but also all of the Louisiana Territory. France offered a good price for both. I wonder if, I would like to know how much that was. You know, that's a lot of land, friends. Can you imagine? I want to Google how much.
We were lucky.
Money was the Louisiana Territory. Anybody have any guesses? Owen. How much? 300,000. M.
2,000.
3,000. That'd be a really good deal. Tyson.
Probably more than a house.
More than a house. All right. Helen. 120,000. Jeremiah. 820,000. Grant. 400,000. James. 480,000. Ella. 500,000. Boy. 290,000, you said? 96? Okay, 290, very specific. I love it. Christian, 500,000. Emmy, 509,000. 900. Oh, you're, Emmy, 27,000. M, 10,000. All right, Winsheen, 5,000. That would be an incredible deal. I'm actually surprised. Olivia, 1,024. M,
412,000.
all right, so hang on. The Louisiana Purchase has been described as the greatest real estate deal in history. In 1803, the United States paid France $15 million for the Louisiana Territory, 828,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River. A lot more. That's a lot of money back then. A lot of money. However, friends, turn around. That is nothing what our government pays. The money that we spend now, that's peanuts. That's nothing. They just made a bill that paid out trillions of dollars. That's not millions, not billions, but trillions. So that's crazy. So that is a huge chunk of land. But that is, I mean, it's for that time frame, that's a lot of money. But we got a great deal. It was said to be the greatest real estate deal in history. So there you go. You guys weren't even close. Kristen was the closest. You said 900,000. It was 15 million. Now it would be, I can't even imagine what that much land would cost. A lot. All right, so how much land? 828,000 square feet.
How would they even pay for it? How do they have that much money?
They stole it from a bank.
How much is a square mile anyway?
A lot. So, if you look at this map, compared to the map, so basically here is Louisiana, right down here. So it included
So much.
all of this land. So basically Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, parts of Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and not Texas.
And not
Oh no, not Texas. It did not include Texas. So this is like, it went to Oklahoma and then down to Texas was not included. That's a lot of land. I agree. Very much worth it. And even part of Wisconsin was included in that. Not all of Wisconsin. So it went from Iowa and it kind of cut off Wisconsin right there.
How dare that Louisiana?
Well, that's just what they purchased. I did not include it. I can't tell because of the Louisiana territories, but I don't think it went up to all of Minnesota either. So I think it cut off part of Wisconsin and then part of Minnesota and then the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and not Colorado. It basically ended at the Rocky Mountains. That's a big chunk of land. A big chunk of land.
How dare they take part of the
Only part, we got part of it, we got back. We got it all back. No worries. All right, so Jefferson saw benefits of buying both. So remember, they went to France to only buy what? They only intended to buy what? What was the piece of land that they really wanted because of the trading aspect of it? M.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. And then Jefferson, whoever went for Jefferson, they said, well, you can have the whole territory for a cool 15 mil.
Wait,
Yes.
how much would it cost now?
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
Gazillion.
It would be astronomical. I mean, you think about that.
What does that mean?
Oh, huge.
Billion.
I wonder if Google could answer that. Should I ask her? How much would the Louisiana territory cost today? I wish I had a, all right, well, let me see if I can even get an answer. How much would the territory cost today? I'd be curious if they can give me an answer. Showing no results.
Somebody should sell it to someone. Yeah.
All right, well, here we go. The 15 million, which is what it costs, the equivalent of about 342 million in modern dollars,
Wow.
and long viewed as one of the best bargains of all time. All right, so 342 million would be the equivalent of the 15 mil in today's money.
It's not even close. I thought it was like a billion.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be more too, but that's not including, that's just the equivalent of the money, but that's not the worth of the land. So, I mean, the worth of the land would be probably double that.
Maybe like 600 million.
Yeah, or even more than that. I mean, if you wanted to come and buy that chunk of land from the United States now,
You would run out of money.
I don't think well, first of all, we wouldn't I would hope we wouldn't sell it, but
You would give more if you even wanted to.
so anyways, so they went to France to buy New Orleans, and they ended up buying the whole Louisiana territory. Jefferson sent the treaty for the final sale to Congress. The members voted and approved the treaty. As a result of the sale in 1803, the United States more than doubled its size. This purchase was called the Louisiana Purchase. So yes, if you look at your map on page 84, the orange was, there wasn't even Florida. The orange was what our territory, the United States, was at that time. At 1803, it did double in size when they purchased the Louisiana territory.
We don't have Florida yet.
We don't have Florida yet. We do not.
Oh, come
So just think about that.
Disneyland hasn't been invented.
Not even a thought. Not even a thought. All right, let's turn the page. We're going to get into some fun stuff. Pirates. Arr. All right, Jefferson could not spend all of his time thinking about the West. He had some other concerns. Many other nations did not respect the United States because it was a young nation. It was a very young nation. The United States wanted to gain the respect of the world. The United States gained that respect in how it handled the war with the Barbary pirates.
Dun, dun, dun.
Arr. All right, who wants to read the next about the Barbary pirates? Got more to read, don't worry.
The Barbary pirates attacked ships that brought goods across the ocean for trade. Some nations paid the pirates to not attack their ships, but this was expensive. Large nations, such as England and France, paid the pirates and were safe. But so pirates kept attacking ships from these small nations.
Yes, and those pirates were quite difficult to deal with.
Quite a problem.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Okay, what's be the next chapter? Read, just read to the end of the page, and then just, in the Navy's put the people's freedoms in danger. On page 187, or 87, and there.
Jefferson did not want to pay for pirates. Neither did he want Americans to be captured and made slaves by the pirates. Jefferson needed a navy to fight the pirates, but he had kept the U.S. military small. Jefferson believed that armies and navies led to wars. He also believed that armies and navies put the people's freedom in danger.
All right. Who wants to continue? Luke. So you can read in some and then end at the end of the paragraph where it says war with pirates. In some countries,
In some countries, armies took over their government. Jefferson was against having standing armies. This is the kind of army that the government keeps ready to fight, even when there is not a war going on. But now America faced war with pirates.
all right, so faced a war with pirates, those pirates. What is a standing military or standing army? You just said that. Luke.
It's like an army that's going to be ready to fight and also connected to the back.
Yes. Do we have a standing army in the United States now?
Yeah.
We do. We do. And a Navy, and an Air Force, and Marines. All right, so who would like to read the next paragraph? Helen.
The small American navy began to fight the pirates. The American soldiers,
No, American
sailors
sailors.
were brave and skillful.
What is a sailor? What branch of armed or military would that be in now? Sailors. Are they on land or are they in water? Owen. Yes. And what branch of military would that mostly encompass in today's military? Jeremiah.
Maybe.
Yes. Very good. Okay, go ahead, Helen.
One night they crept into a heavily armed harbor and set a ship on fire.
They set a ship.
They set a ship on fire. Even the powerful European
Mm-hmm.
nation
Recognize. There you go.
that Americans fought well. The pirates recognized it too. They signed treaties with the United States. They promised not to attack American ships anymore. The United States had earned the respect
There you go.
of the world.
Very good. Yay. So, our first battle is with pirates. Arr. Arr, mateys. All right, so let us. So we are going to go back. We're going to go on page 49 of your manual and see if you remember what precedent was set in the 1800 election. Now look on back on page 77. It's titled Election of 1800. Scan and see if you can find the answer. What precedent, which means what? What is precedent, friends? Wensheen. An example. What was the example that was set in the election of 1800? You're actually going to find it on page 80. On the very last paragraph. In many countries, starting there, scan that. Yes, Owen.
Peaceful
Peaceful what?
voting.
You're right in peaceful, but what was peaceful? What was the precedent that was set? Not the president, the precedent. Jonathan,
Political parties.
what about it?
Peaceful. Peaceful changes changes of political parties.
Exactly. Yep, that is it. Peaceful change of political parties. Because John Adams was a what? Was he a Federalist or was he a Democrat Republican? Remember, he was the second president. James. He was a Federalist. Thomas Jefferson was a what? McKenna. Yes. Now, I don't know if Washington was ever, he was not for political parties, but I would say he'd be more of a Federalist. So they're saying that the 1800s set a precedent because Adams was a Federalist. Washington, I would say he steered more towards that. And so two presidents were Federalists, and Thomas Jefferson was a Democrat Republican. So he was the first of that party, and it was peaceful. In what year did the Louisiana Purchase take place? We just talked about this. We're kind of jumping all over the place. Look on page 84 for your answer. Dealings with nations. 84 and 85. If you find the bold word of Louisiana Purchase on 85, you're going to find your answer. Scan on 85. Check.
1803.
1803. Very good. What country do we purchase this land from? What country had owned the Louisiana Territory prior to us buying it? Ella. France. Very good. All right, write B before the statement if it is a benefit of purchasing the Louisiana Territory. Benefit is a positive result. Something good, something positive came out of the purchase. Because Americans would own New Orleans, trade from the Mississippi River would not be cut off. Was that a benefit of owning the Louisiana Purchase? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So you write B. Was a benefit of the Louisiana Purchase, number 17, nations respected the United States?
Yes.
No. How did we gain respect for the how did the United States gain respect? We just talked about that. It wasn't the purchase, it was something else. What was it that we gained respect for? Tyson.
Taking down the pirates.
Taking down the pirate. Arr. Very good. So 17 is not B. What about the extra land gave space for farmers? Was that a benefit? Did we get some land?
Yes.
Yes, a lot. So is that a benefit? Yes. Big benefit. We got a big chunk of land. Doubled our country's size. So, number 19, what would you say that is? Look on your map on page 84 in your textbook. The very, 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 very bottom of the Louisiana territory. What is that? Toby. New Orleans. $20 is this whole pink area. What is that? What is this pink area that we purchased? What is the whole pink area that we purchased? Olivia.
Louisiana Territory.
Louisiana Territory. Very good. Excellent. And remember, this was our western border before the Louisiana Territory. What is that? It is a specific river. What is the river, Toby? The Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. We have that as our vocab.
Yes, we did.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
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 All right, so now we have a little box. Match each effect with its cause. The pirates did not attack the large nations. Why? Why did the pirates not attack large nations? What did these large nations do in order to get protection from being attacked? Emmy?
Because they paid the pirates
Yes.
to leave them alone.
They paid them money to leave them alone. The pirates loved money
Yes.
and rum.
What?
No. That is just something they got from the Caribbean. It is a drink. So yes, the pirates loved their money. So yeah, the countries paid them off, which didn't always work though either. Pirates were sneaky. 23, many nations did not respect the United States. Why did we not have respect back then? Helen. Because it was a young nation. Very good. It was a very young nation. You take into consideration of Europe compared to us, extremely young. Jefferson had kept the U.S. military small. Why did Jefferson keep the military small? Luke. Right, very good. He did not like standing military armies. In a way, I get that, but it's not practical necessarily. The United States earned the respect of the world. How did we earn the respect of the world, Christian?
Because Americans fought well.
Yes. Correct, B. Very good. Excellent job, friends. So, we are done for the day. Tomorrow is going to be a very quick day. So listen up, please. Listen up. I did not tell you to stand. I did not tell you to talk. I am in the middle of a conversation. Tomorrow morning, right away, Bible verse, spelling test. Okay? Make sure you know them. If you don't know them, take them home. I would study them regardless. So tomorrow we're going to have Bible, writing, reading, and math, and then it's adios. Make sure your parents know that the pickup, I will send a note home. There is no after school, obviously, because there's no lunch. Lunch is not here tomorrow. Because we are leaving before lunch. Pickup is 11:30. So I will be sending, I'll send an email just to remind parents of that. All right. There is no homework today except for Bible and spelling. Make sure you know that. Yeah. You may line up. What's that? No, I did not assign you homework. Unless you want to write Bible, is your vocabulary words in your planner? Then you better take your planner home. Okay, that's fine. All right, you may go now. Quietly, please. grab my coat.